It is night, yes?
It is night. It's a little different hearing good night as a greeting as well. That's cool.
So, Philip, do you have any questions or thoughts before we start?
I do have a question actually.
Hmm.
Last week, we mentioned the word veritas that Shelton was also reading out from the book that he had in front of him. Did that sound any familiar at all with the Hebrew veritas,
It has
if
to.
that makes
It
sense?
has a sound with the letters of the Torah because Torah has the letters Tav and Resh and Vav, and the Torah, of course, it's a virtue. If you take the letters and you write those letters, their sound in English, they come up together as truth as in virtue as well, or veritas.
Uh-huh. Okay, so veritas is the translation, is that right?
Again,
The veritas is the translation. Is that right?
I would say yes.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
Thank you. Kevin, good morning.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
How are you today?
I am well. Beautiful day today, nice and cool, sunny, enjoying the weather.
Good, good.
How is everyone? How are you?
Fine. Here's 1st of September. Children go back to school. The summer is, is folding up, and there's a new season, a new year is coming. So
Yes,
there's a, like, I would say, there's a notion of something new coming, different, and it's interesting.
nice.
Hey,
Wonderful.
Kevin. Fine, thanks, man. How are you?
Oh, hello. How are you?
Philip, did you hear the question?
I did. Did my microphone work?
Now it's working. Kevin asked, "How are you?"
Fine, thanks, man. How are you?
Good. I appreciate all that you share in the sessions. So I'm grateful for your questions and your insights.
I'm grateful for everyone's contribution.
Thank you. Kevin, do you have any questions before we start?
At the moment, not yet. Thank you.
Okay. So let's pop into the whiteboard and see what do we have here. We have two sorts of text. Here it is. In a second. One second, I'm trying to move. There's one text. I have to there's a different setting today, excuse me, so I have to arrange things around here. There's one text which is coming from Genesis and the other one from Leviticus, and we shall see how do they connect. What is the theme? What does Philon think about this verse and the consequence of this verse? So, who would like to read, please? I'll try to.
Can start.
Yes. Second.
You would like to read the first one and then Leviticus? How?
Yes, but first there is a little. Do you see the verse, or I have to go in because at the moment it seems that the setting is not working. Do you do you
I can
have?
see.
You can see.
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Good morning,
And a
Felipe.
man
Yes, please.
and the man knew Eve his wife, and she conceived and bore Cain, and said, I have gotten a man with the help of the Lord.
Thank you. Now let's read in the flow Leviticus and see why Philon connects those two texts together.
And the
Okay.
Lord spoke unto Moses in Mount Sinai, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When ye come into the land which I give you, then shall the land keep a Sabbath unto the Lord. 6 years thou shalt sow thy field, and 6 years thou shalt prune thy vineyard, and gather in the produce thereof. But in the 7th year but in the 7th year shall be a Sabbath of solemn rest for the land, a Sabbath unto the Lord. Thou shalt neither sow thy field nor prune thy vineyard. That which groweth of itself of thy harvest thou shalt not reap, and the grapes of thy undressed vine thou shalt not gather. It shall be a year of solemn rest for the Lord. And the Sabbath produce of the land shall be for food for you, for thee, and for thy servant, and for thy maid, and for thy hired servant, and for the settler by thy side that sojourn with thee, and for thy cattle, and for the beasts that are in the land, shall all the increase thereof be for food. And thou shalt number 7 Sabbaths of years unto thee, 7 times 7 years, and there shall be unto thee the days of 7 Sabbaths of years, even 49 years. Then thou shalt make proclamation with the blast of the horn on the 10th day of the 7th month. In the day of atonement shall ye make proclamation with the horn throughout all your land. And ye shall hallow the 50th year, and proclaim liberty throughout the land unto all the inhabitants thereof. It shall be a jubilee unto you, and ye shall return every man unto his possession, and ye shall return every man unto his family. And a jubilee shall that 50th year be unto you. Ye shall not sow, neither reap that which groweth of itself in it, nor gather the grapes in it of the undressed vine. For it is a jubilee, it shall be holy unto you. You shall eat the increase thereof out of the field. In this year of the jubilee ye shall return every man unto his possession. And if thou sell aught unto thy neighbor, or buy of thy neighbor's hand, ye shall not wrong one another. According to the number of years after the jubilee thou shalt buy of thy neighbor, and according unto the number of years of crops he shall sell unto thee. According to the multitude of the years thou shalt increase the price thereof, and according to the fewness of the years thou shalt diminish the price of it. For the number of crops doth he sell unto thee. And ye shall not wrong one another, but shall fear thy God. For I am the Lord your God. Therefore ye shall do my statutes, and keep my ordinances, and do them, and ye shall dwell in the land in safety. And the land shall yield her fruit, and ye shall eat until ye have enough, and dwell therein in safety. And if ye shall say, What shall we eat in the 7th year? Behold, we may not sow, nor gather in our increase. Then I will command my blessing upon you in the 6th year, and it shall bring forth produce for the 3 years. And ye shall sow the 8th year, and eat of the produce, the old store, until the 9th year, until her produce come in. Ye shall eat the old store. And the land shall not be sold in perpetuity, for the land is mine, for ye are strangers and settlers with me.
Thank you so much. And good morning. We have seen here Venus. Good morning, Venus. What does the text speak about? First in Leviticus and then in Genesis. What is the main idea here?
It seems he's giving instructions regarding the Sabbaths and the Jubilee.
And what is the idea here? In verse 23, he summarized everything, why there is a law of the seventh year, the Sabbath, and the Jubilee. What is the idea behind the system of 777 and Jubilee? I will try to increase the volume.
Basically, the idea that I think by the question that you're asking is that he will provide in the seventh year, that they will not need to work for food or to sustain themselves, and that he will provide in the seventh year, on the Sabbath, to sustain them.
Who will provide then?
The Lord.
Yes, yes. And there's, in verse 23, something interesting is happening. What is happening in verse 23?
He basically says, and you shall not sell the land because it's his, because that you're strangers and settlers with me.
So who are the strangers and who are the settlers?
Assuming those whom he's speaking to.
Us. We are here, strangers and settlers. We're not landlords here. We are here strangers. We came for a while here. So we don't have any holdings here. This is why he says, and the land shall not be sold in perpetuity. Nitzmitut, never. It is impossible to, it is, whenever we see the word not in the Bible, it's not because, it's not or don't that the law says, and if we shall cross this law, we shall be punished. Usually people read the Bible, whenever they see no or don't, or you shall not, they translate it as a law, and if somebody crosses this law, there's a punishment, but it's not. Whenever we see no or not or don't, it is simply impossible. Because the land... Yes?
Yes, go for it.
It is impossible to sell the land because it's not ours. And it's not about the land, it's not about the territory. Aretz from Ratzon, from will. This is his will, and we cannot sell this will because it's inner. The fact that we are here is because there is a divine will that we shall be here. Felipe is writing, just like Cain, we are vagabond, yes, in the land, yes. And this is why Philon puts those two texts together, verse 23 from Leviticus, and here we have Genesis 4:1. When we read Genesis 4:1 and the man knew Eve, his wife, what comes into mind? Generally, what comes into mind? Who is man? Who is Adam? In Hebrew, this is Adam. Veha-Adam, not man. Ha-Adam. Veha-Adam. 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 Yada, knew. Et Chava, the Eve, or the sensation.
The feminine aspect of nature.
Excellent.
Right?
Yes, this is one thing. Another one, as Philon sees it. Ha'adam is our divine, there is a divine soul in each and every one of us. And there's Logos, divine Logos, that communicates into the mind of man. And here, what Philon says, Ve'ha'adam yada et Chava ishto, and Ha'adam, the known one, the wishful one that God created, this divine creature, knew Eve, his wife. It means that the man had encounter with his feeling and sensations. This is not a story of a birth of, let's say, a baby called Cain. Like in Leonard Cohen song.
Could you say he kind of also saw his beginning and was able to now comprehend?
Yes.
Because man comes from Eve as well. So in a sense, like, in order to see something, he was able to see an aspect of a cause, because, yeah, I think you know what I'm asking.
Philon says that this verse means that this is a process which is happening in a man's mind. When the mind knows or connects to the sensations or to the feelings, and from this merge between mind, which is abstract, and feelings, which is body related, because our senses are connected to our bodies, from this merge with the mind and feelings or senses comes a product called Cain. Cain is not a physical baby-born child, but the notion of I can buy things, I can own things. If my senses, touching, seeing, and so, the experience, Chava from Chavaya, experience, if my experience of touching, of seeing, of hearing, telling me or gives me the sensation of X or XYZ, it means I'm the landlord of the sensation. I can own the sensation. I am the seeing. I am the hearing. It brings a person a notion of possession. How do you say to have a possession of?
Possession, yes.
Possession. I can possess. I can possess hearing. I can possess seeing. I can possess touching. I can have it.
To make a claim on it.
Yes. And whenever we touch something or see something, this is something that the mind immediately, the feelings, the body gives feedback to the mind and says, Kaniti ish et Hashem, I bought him. This is it. Ish from not just man, but from yesh. There's ish, aleph, yod, shin, but also holds yesh, yod, shin, yesh. There is entity. I feel the leaf of a tree. I have it. I know what is it to feel in my fingers, the leaf of a tree. I have it.
It's experience.
Yes. And this experience consumes man, consume his divine mind, and tear him apart, and gives him the notion of earthly king. To all of us. I just wanted to show you something regarding the mathematics of the verse. I see that Felipe here is writing. Is there a relation between the words in the verse? Yes. Yes, yes. Et Hashem. Yes, there is. I'm coming to this. 1 second. I would like to look at the mathematics of the verse. 1 second, I have a pen. All this, והאדם ידע את חווה אשתו, and the man knew Eve, his wife, in Hebrew, gives us 1296. If we add all those little numbers, sorry, this doesn't work today. Try to write it here. 1 plus 2 plus 9 plus 6. What do we get?
$18.
You get 18. 1 second. 1 second. I had another thing here. 1 second. Sorry, it is 1267. This is a mistake because I was going into 1 second into another. 1267, 1267. Sorry, because it was another take, mathematical take. $67. What happens when we add those digits together? 1 plus 2 plus 6 plus 7.
16.
16.
16. What is the square root of 16? Root
4.
of 4. 1 second. Now, what is the value of the name Cain? Cain. We have 100. 100. Kof is 100. I'm sorry for the writing. It's not clear. 100. Yod is 10.
Mhm.
And Nun is 50.
50.
So how much is Cain?
160.
Good. $160 without a zero is 16, and again the root is 4. So do you see how does it work? Cain, yes, Cain is not a physical baby. This is what Philon says. Cain is not a physical baby. It's a notion of having possession because our mind take the senses, the input that the body gives us, and in a way sends us a false signal of having it. Because I feel, I see, and so on, I touch, I have it.
You also have a 160 minus 16. Gives you 144.
Yes, excellent. Second. Excellent. So against this notion, against this distraction that this is how we build, all of us, comes Leviticus 25 and says, this is the system of 7. This is what we're crossing now, by the way, all over the world. This is a Jubilee, a great recession, deep recession. This is not, people that economy looks at it, called it recession, so this is a Jubilee, and here there's a description of how does the system works. This is a law. What does it mean, a law? It's not law in human court. This is a structure, and this is how life works. Yesterday, we were in a meeting, and somebody, an accountant, complained on the economical situation in the world. To whom a person can complain of what is happening now? This is a system. The system comes to protect us from ourselves. Any question?
It's funny how you say that the system is there to protect us from ourselves when, ironically, at the moment, it has us at our limits, really mostly saving itself.
Again?
It's funny how you say about the system that it's there to save us from ourselves, when currently it has us really at our limits, working ourselves off more for the system than we do for ourselves, and it's really at the moment saving itself. It seemed a little it seems ironic.
That we are
Felipe,
working. Yeah?
mhm,
Yes? Felipe is writing?
he said, I didn't understand where came from the numbers 1 plus 2 plus 6 plus 7 equals 16.
Okay, Felipe. We shall stop, and then I shall answer for Philip. In verse 1, in Genesis 4, there are 5 words in Hebrew. Veha Adam, Yada, and the man knew, Et Chava, wife, Eve, his wife. Those 5 words create the sum of 1267. Do you see this, Felipe? I try to, because my system here is not really, you see? Trying again. Kevin, can you explain in English? Maybe my English is not good.
Repeat the question.
Can you explain? Do you see Philip? Felipe is here.
He said, I see now. Thank you.
Yes, very good. Those 5 words together gives us the sum of 1267. When we take those digits and we sum them up, it becomes 16. From 16 we take the root of 16 is 4, is basically the matter. And matter multiply itself, 4 and 4.
Yeah, you could also take, in the 1267, you could unite the 1 and the 7 to make 8. And it's got 26. So
excellent.
you have,
Excellent.
yeah.
And then you have the binding of Isaac, like all creation is binded up, not to fall apart. Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. You say 1 plus 7 equals 8. And here we have double 26. And this is 208, the value of Yitzchak, of laughter, the value of laughter, because laughter is a virtue. Yes. Excellent. Questions?
This is amazing. I'm grateful.
What do we have for a picture today, Etty?
Yes. Oh. This is by William Blake. Here. Second. Here. What do we see here?
I see a red sun that is in it almost looks like a bull outline with a man running with holding his head to the left. And to the right, in front of a mountain, there is a man with a beard and long hair, with a surprised look on his face, looking at the man running away, holding his head. And then there's another man, or there is a human that is laying over another, like hunched over, bending over another human laying on the ground. But the man that is running away, holding his head, has his right foot as if it's coming out of a grave hole. And there's a shovel laying next to the hole. And the sky is ominous.
What is the name of the picture here? Do you see the painting?
Body of Abel found by Adam and Eve.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Where
I should have
is
read that first.
Yeah.
Okay, so Abel is laying on the ground, right?
Yes.
And I'm assuming Cain is the one holding his head running away, or appears to be running. And then Adam and Eve is hunched over Abel, like mourning, and Adam appears surprised and is looking at Cain. If that's Adam, assuming. Because they're both, everyone doesn't have any clothes.
Thank you. Philon says that Cain and Abel are not just really babies, they're concepts. Abel, Hevel. He reads the name Hevel as Hav El, give God, meaning what Abel wants all the time, Abel in us, is to bring everything back to God. Whatever I have, I want to bring it back to God. This is the meaning of Abel, Hav El. So what happens? Let's not think about Cain and Abel as physical twins or children. What happens if Cain is a perception or perspective of owning or having? What is the relation here between Cain and Abel in us? Who kills who and for what?
I see what you're saying. It's as if Abel in you ends up dying. It makes you selfish. And greedy. And a lot of words that come under that same category.
Could it be, I don't know, but could Cain represent an aspect of desire, and Abel represent an aspect of delight, and the desire kills delight?
Yes.
Because it's
Delight is in a complete rest.
yes.
Yes.
Hmm.
I would like to ask you something. Did you notice a certain detail here? I'll try to make it. Try to focus. Please.
Are you referring to the sky at all?
Again?
Are you referring to the sky?
Not yet, not yet. Just one detail. This is Adam.
That's fine then.
Yes, this is Adam. Please pay attention to Adam's hair and beard. He has like curls. This is always referred to wisdom, so to speak. Or external wisdom, external. This is why Joseph was playing with his hair, making his curls, because this is external. Please pay attention to the relation between Adam and Eve mourning on Abel. Please pay attention to the relation between Adam and Eve. The mind and the sensation. What happens here in this part in the painting? What happens here? Can you see this part?
Yes, but I don't recognize what you refer to.
You remember one verse saying, and he built Vayiven et Atzela, and he built the rib that he took from Adam. You remember this verse? He took the rib, the side.
Yes.
Do you see that I have a mutual point, Adam and Eve? Here. Like a surgery, open wound.
Yeah,
Do you
like a
see?
scar.
A scar. A scar. And Eve, the sensations, the feelings are coming, so to speak, from the side. From the side. Our senses, feelings are coming from the side. They're not coming from the inner, which is in the middle.
Oh, wow. Sorry.
It is very good to understand it. When people claim, or sometimes we say, I feel good or not, all kinds of things. It's important to feel good and to give this confirmation, but please pay attention to the relation, and William Blake's brings it very, very, how you say, extinctly here. The feelings, the sensations are coming from the side.
Would that be to also say externally?
Yes. Excellent. It is interesting. Luke is here. Hi, Luke. It is interesting that the sensations also mourning. Eve, so to speak, here as a body of feelings is mourning. Her head is down. Adam, in a way, is still standing. Or diagonally, let's say posture diagonally, not completely bow himself into the meta.
Where Eve is concentrating on Abel, Adam is concentrating on Cain.
Yes. Philon says that Cain is a perspective of man thinking he's owning something in this life.
Nicely said.
Philon says something even greater. He says, we are just strangers here, just dwellers, settlers. And what we sense as owning bodies, houses, family, everything is gifted, is given as a gift or as a loan or as borrowed, like we borrow a book in the library. And one day we will return everything that we have borrowed, because nothing is ours.
What I get this impression that comes to me, and maybe it might not connect very well, but it seems that there may be a sweetening aspect of Cain as symbolizing the inheritance of the correction. Meaning, if you take what Cain has done, like, there is an aspect where in a different world, like I don't know which direction, but in a different world, Cain killing his brother, Cain doesn't, if you think of killing, not in the sense of murder, like in the world that we're speaking of now, but in the world of rectification, like in a higher world in a rectified world, then Cain, and an aspect of Cain's inheritance of having understanding and knowing, taking responsibility of knowing when to rectify something and to kill something for a greater purpose, as you take on the responsibility. Does that make sense? I don't know how to elaborate it. It's just something that I was getting this impression from.
Can you explain, please, again?
It's a counterintuitive, I think, maybe, which is why it's difficult to me to elaborate, because if we turn it inside out, the story inside out. So in the world we're currently speaking of, the frame we're currently speaking of, is the aspect of Cain is the ego, the pride, to possession, to hold on. But the corrected aspect of Cain is where you receive an inheritance, and because you have this inheritance of understanding and wisdom and the corrected aspects of the senses and the emotions. You're being directed from the source and not just from the external. You take upon responsibility to help bring correction, which is an aspect of killing something. But in a different world, it's not in the world of good and bad. It's in the world of unity and rectification. Does it make sense?
Excellent, yes. Excellent. Philippa is writing, it seems that all the, cannot see the words, but characters in the painting are one, as they're all connected. Only Cain is away from Adam, Eve, and Abel. It's interesting, Philippa says that Adam, Eve, and Abel are like coming or appearing together, when Cain appears here separated. In a way, what comes between them is the grave. Interesting. Questions? Or thoughts, Philip?
I did have a thought actually while Kevin was explaining his thought between Cain and Abel, the two perspectives that they have. Surely that Cain and Abel are brothers would also have something to do with that. In my mind, it seemed like the fact that they're brothers should tie into it as well.
I like love your neighbor as yourself. Is what you're thinking, or?
I wasn't thinking anything specific, but I was interested in the point that they are brothers, and that brothers may represent exactly what you just said there, that the two perspectives that they carry, where does the brother perspective sit with that as well? And that might even be it right there. But yes, that was just a thought that while Kevin was speaking before, that did come to mind.
We meet them here as brothers, but those are different perspectives in each and every one of us.
Oh, I wanted to
When you
point
point,
out. Sorry.
Yes?
Go for it, Kevin.
I just wanted to point out that the shape of Cain, the way that he's holding his arms, looks like a bull or an ox.
Yes, yes.
And then even the side profile of a bull or an ox in the sky behind with the red sun, it almost gives this impression of the sin. And it's interesting that they both have that kind of similar relation. The sky and Cain holding his arms in that position.
What is he holding in his here? What is happening in his forehead? Do you see here that each palm hold each part of the...
Is
Yes?
he holding his hair, you think?
he is holding the split. You see, he has two palms and there's seemingly like bloody or something spot or Cain sign or something. It is not that God, after conversation with him, put a mark on his head. The fact that he is acting as he acts, this is already the mark, the split. He is not one, he is two, you see? There is no unity here.
Does Philon possibly even say that exactly this happens within Cain? For example, the perspectives of Cain and Abel.
He says that it is happening in all of us. It's using our language, vector, it's a print. We are coming to life with this print. You see the split in a way Felipe was mentioning already, the three of them, Adam, Eve and Abel, they are coming together. And Cain is completely outside of the unity. He has like split life. He is split. He is first, how do you say, frontal. This is the frontal brain. Is split. We speak today about people with polar condition, bipolar, and on the spectrum of all kinds of illnesses. You can see it here.
What is the double aspect of Cain? What is his value again?
160. This is interesting that you ask. Cain, the value of Cain is 160. Also money in Hebrew or silver is 160. Also a rock. All of those things together, they have 160. Second, Cain is 160. Cain is 160. Silver, kesef. Kesef is both silver and both money. Is 160. We have to buy a new board. It's not working. Cain is 160. Silver money is also 160.
Could I also ask what the value of gold is?
Yes, 14.
Mm-hmm.
1 to 4.
Thank you.
14.
Wow. The double of 160 is 320 is Aveni Netzar. Did I say that right?
Again.
Aven Aveni, Netzar,
Meaning?
the diadem stones,
Okay, so
or like jewels.
320 you mean?
Yes.
Yes, is the value of what?
Aleph, Bet, Nun,
Aleph.
Yod,
Yes.
and then Nun, Zayin, Resh.
Nun, Zayin, Resh.
If I'm saying that correctly, Zayin, the 7.
Avnei Netzer? Netzer?
Yes.
257. This is 257 and 53, 63. In which verse did you find this? Or
No, I just have a list of numbers that I keep tracks of, notes
Good.
of. And because I'm always thinking and putting words together, playing with the letters and the words. And it was in my, so that way I can recognize when I see certain numbers show up.
It's good. It's good. You make you mark the path. Very good. Felipe is writing. Yes, he is born into duality in this very moment. Yes. Did you see babies are coming out of the womb in birth? How do they come out in the labor? Usually when the baby's head comes from the womb, what do they have on their head? Before the midwife is cleaning the baby, how does the baby appear in this life?
Bald?
Again?
With hair, or they're bald?
Yeah, it is hair or bald, yes. But before they are coming, I mean, when they come, they're coming with blood. The blood of birth, like Cain here on his head. Questions or thoughts?
I think I've said everything.
Thank you. So how did we start? We start with the verse, and Adam and man knew his wife Eve, and she gave birth to Cain. And she said, I bought a man from the Lord. Yes, and Felipe was mentioning that Kaniti ish et Hashem et the 1-4 and the tetragrammaton. By having and this is the meaning, Felipe. The experience tells us that we have the notion of being, but experience is not being, and this is the mistake. And we moved, according to Philon's perspective, reading Leviticus chapter 25 and trying to see how this kind of thinking forms a sense of owning things, and to correct this sense of our perspective owning things for a while comes the law of Jubilee and says Nothing is yours. You're just foreigners here, strangers here, dwellers here, and the will or the land or everything that you see is mine. Meaning, this is the cause of causes, property, not ours. Our senses are not ours, our speech are not ours, our hands. They're just being given to us as a loan, or we borrow those abilities and then we return everything back like we return a book into the library on its shelf to rest. This is how
Etty.
Philon. Yes.
Sorry.
Yes, Kevin.
I wanted to on my notes I found the verse
Yes.
that I found that with Zechariah 9:16.
Zechariah 9, a second. Yes, excellent. Second pen, Zechariah. $9.16. Thank you. Questions or thoughts before we seal this conversation? Felipe, Venus, would you like to say something? Venus, whenever you hear my voice getting silence, is that because I'm going into a very deep mode of speech, so this is why the voice is getting very, very silent. Thank you. And Felipe says, some days ago I dreamt, 1 second, I don't have the YouTube screen. Kevin, do you have an access to YouTube? Please.
Yes.
Can you read what
Etty,
you
some days ago I dreamed about this number 16, and now you gave me a clue about it. Thank you. Venus says, frustrating. Whispers of Etty, can't make out.
I'll try to check the settings after class. Now I cannot deal also with the settings because there's so many wires here and different screens. I can check it later, but it is very often that I go into very, very deep mode inside and my voice gets very, very silent. I'm aware of that, but it's part of the process of going inside. I would like to greet all of you, to wish you a wonderful year, to thank you for coming here, being with us, trying to listen. I'll try to make it better for the next time, Venus. And wish all of you Shabbat Shalom, and we can meet here on Monday. And
Thank you.
and it seems that we are starting a new semester now, so our plan of schedule and lessons, sessions, which might increase. So I'll let you know of those changes, and we can meet here on Monday. Thank you so much, and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, friend.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Etty.
See you Monday.
Thank you, Luke. Shabbat Shalom.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.